You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WISS Daily News Roundup for Oshkosh Air Support, 98.3 FM and 1100 AM.
For 98.3 and 96.5 WISS News, I'm Lisa Hale. Heads up for severe weather tonight. Here's meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
As severe weather moves into the state, hail and high winds are expected. Be sure to be inside and stay away from windows. This afternoon, temperatures are going to spike warm. Into the 80s in spots south. And as the sun shines through, it's adding fuel for more severe storms tonight. Feeling muggy too. If any isolated storm spins up out ahead of a strong line of storms pushing through the state this evening, it could pack an intense tornado. And the risk for twisters remains in that line tonight, too. And those would be hiding in heavy rain and moving in fast. Widespread damage is possible, so be sure to have a plan in place. Gather emergency items and put them in your shelter spot. And make sure that you have a way to be warned if you're under a tornado warning. I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
Organizers thought 250,000 people would visit the NFL Draft in Green Bay this year. They were wrong. The official count over the 3-day period was 600,000 attendees. John Baker, head of global events for the NFL.
I got it completely wrong. I thought 250,000 people would come to this draft over 3 days, and you have completely blown that number out the doors.
The NFL confirmed attendance Thursday was 205,000 people, Friday 175,000, and on Saturday 220,000 people attended the NFL Draft. Green Bay is the smallest market to host an NFL team, but it tied the numbers seen in Nashville in 2019. Detroit set the record last year when 775,000 people attended the 3 days of draft activities. And for those keeping track, there was only one arrest and 8 ejections over the entire 3-day period. Wisconsin Senators Tammy Baldwin and Ron Johnson have announced the renewal of the bipartisan Wisconsin Federal Nominating Commission. The bipartisan commission was established to make recommendations for open U.S. attorney and federal judicial positions in the state. The goal is to ensure that officers of the judicial system are being selected for their dedication to applying the law impartially rather than altering the law to support policy or ideological agendas in the justice system. A number of U.S. attorney positions are open in Wisconsin. Need to get away? It's only $37 to fly from Milwaukee to the Motor City. Stuart J. Waddles has more about a price point that makes selling train travel tricky.
Spirit Airlines is launching a new nonstop route from Mitchell to Detroit starting June 13th. Flights will operate twice a week. Starting fares for the new service will be as low as $37 each way. Spirit's been growing their Milwaukee network, which has added flights to L.A., Baltimore, and Nashville.
Just after midnight Sunday morning, Wapaka County Sheriff's deputies were called to a UTV crash in the township of Harrison. When they arrived, they found a man outside of the UTV. Life-saving measures were performed, but the man did not make it. No other details are available. That crash remains under investigation. School district leaders across Wisconsin are trying to figure out what to do after the Trump administration cut $16 million meant for healthier school meals. Savannah Tomei Olson has that story.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture announced more than $1 billion in funding last year for 2 programs that help schools, child care centers, and food banks buy locally sourced food. Caitlin Taurainen heads the School Nutrition Association of Wisconsin. She says schools have roughly $2 per kid to spend on school lunches, and that federal money helped bridge the gap in their slim budgets and partner with local producers.
It's hard for us to do that with the budget that we have. And not only is it hurting the students in the schools that are consuming this food, but it's really making a huge impact on our farmers.
Stacy Nelson is the director of food nutrition services for the Menominee School District. She says that federal money helped them move away from big box foods and give kids more nutritious options from local farmers.
Continuing to pull programs that are meant as a support to those kids isn't going to make America healthy again, which is what we keep saying we're trying to do.
Senator Tammy Baldwin has demanded the USDA restore that funding. Leaders in the Trump administration say cutting it is curbing government waste. For Civic Media News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson.
In small cities and rural areas that lack childcare access, Governor Tony Evers says school districts may be the solution to filling those gaps. Evers says state funding is vital, comparing childcare to public infrastructure. Evers has proposed $480 million for childcare providers in his state budget. Today is Superhero Day. Real-life superheroes come in all shapes and sizes. They come in all ages and abilities. Real-life superheroes are the ones that go above and beyond to help those in need. The American Red Cross of Wisconsin Northeast chapter is seeking local heroes who have shown exceptional courage, dedication, and selflessness in heroic contributions to their community. They will honor them at the 2025 annual Northeast Wisconsin Heroes Golf Classic. Rebecca Rockhill, Executive Director of the Red Cross Northeast Wisconsin chapter.
They don't do it for recognition, but we want people to hear their story. We want people to hear the good that is being done in the community, and that there are everyday heroes that are making oftentimes life-saving acts of heroism.
If you know an individual, group, or organization that has gone above and beyond to save a life or make a community better, you're encouraged to nominate them. To nominate a hero, visit redcross.org/Wisconsin and fill out the online nomination form. All nominations must be submitted by May 31st. I'm Lisa Hale for 98.3 and 96.5 WISS News. For news anytime, visit WISS.FM.
Another injury for Damian Lillard. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks' Damian Lillard going in for an MRI today. The Associated Press reporting there's concern he suffered a torn Achilles tendon in the Bucks' 129-103 loss to the Pacers last night in Milwaukee. Head coach Doc Rivers.
They're going to do an image, obviously his lower leg, and just being honest, it's not very promising.
Game 5 tomorrow night in Indy. The Pacers now lead 3-1. Baseball, the Brewers have the night off after beating the Cards in St. Louis 7-1 yesterday. NFL, the Packers picked up 8 players during the draft in Green Bay over the weekend. I asked GM Brian Gutekunst if he thought about trading for some more.
I would have loved to acquire more picks, whether that was this year or next year, and we really didn't accomplish that. But it was really pretty quiet today as far as that went. We had 8 picks. Feel really good about those guys, and then some of the guys that we're signing right now I feel pretty good about too.
That's the Packers' Brian Gutekunst with Sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Demi Moore says aging is a gift and very different from being old. The Hollywood Reporter says the Substance actress says she prefers her current age to being 21, saying as good as 21 may sound, it was torture. The Oscar-nominated actress praised Oscar winner Honora's Mikey Madison, saying she gave a phenomenal performance. She also says that she has much more work to do and would love to be back on the Oscar stage. Also from The Hollywood Reporter, and speaking of Substance, Margaret Qualley has a new comedy that she's just learned will hit theaters this summer. Focus features Honey Don't also stars Aubrey Plaza and Chris Evans and is directed by Ethan Coen. Qualley plays a small-town private investigator who looks into the deaths at a church. Honey Don't will hit theaters August 22nd. 2 Hollywood movers and shakers are about to get even busier as they team up for a new psychological thriller. American Hostage is a new series from MGM Plus and will star John Hamm, and Sean Ryan will executive produce. The show is set in the 70s and follows Hamm's character, who is a reporter forced to interview a hostage taker in the middle of a crisis. Hamm is currently starring in Your Friends and Neighbors, and Ryan recently executive produced and wrote The Night Agent. Pamela Anderson's recent film, The Last Showgirl, brought her critical praise and some Oscar buzz, but it did not result in a nomination. Not sure if it's a snub or not, but according to the New York Post, it motivated the Baywatch actress to retaliate by moving to Massachusetts to do theater. Anderson will star in Tennessee Williams' Camino Real this coming summer. Anderson made her Broadway debut in Chicago in 2022. After a recent video with Chris Martin, Dick Van Dyke's popularity is on the rise yet again. A few months ago, Van Dyke sang All My Love while talking about his life with the Coldplay frontman. The video warmed our hearts for sure, but now Van Dyke is back at it. At a recent gathering in Malibu, he wowed attendees with a rendition of Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, a song he famously sang in Mary Poppins in 1964. Despite it being a complicated song, he didn't miss a single word or make one mistake. Oh yeah, Dick Van Dyke is 99. The newest Hunger Games installment has found its 2 lead actors. Deadline.com reports that Joseph Zada will play the role of Haymitch Abernathy, and Whitney Peak will play Haymitch's girlfriend, Lenore Dove Baird. Haymitch is the younger version of Woody Harrelson's character. The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping is expected to hit theaters in November of 2026. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
It is going to be a warm day today with scattered thunderstorms likely, and some of those storms could be severe with the potential for large hail, damaging straight-line wind, and even tornadoes, especially late this afternoon through much of this evening. Stay weather aware today. Be prepared. We will have the very latest as things develop. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Outside now, it's 53.
That's your WISS Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WISS.FM. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.